Welcome to another episode of Crush This Monster Truck Podcast. Like I said, I was taking about a month hiatus, April. Get back in gear in May, but at the beginning of the month, I kind of did some recordings, and I'm releasing a couple of them just to make some content for you guys, because I'm supposed to have one half of them help out, but after, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we're getting ready for the ending of the Monster Jam season. We got a few shows left this month, and then we got a couple, actually one in May, and then the World Finals. So excited about that. Excited about the World Finals. Some news will be coming about. I don't know if we can release it quite yet, but I'm excited about the smaller type. So we'll get ready to do that. Once again, I'd like to thank High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. Also JB Scale Graphics, 6B Apparel. Go to our spread shop and get some merch. Help us out, stuff like that. Really, really do. And Chris from 6B Apparel, get our crew shirts. And hoodies are $100 a pop. Hoodie weather is starting to go to the downfall. But, hey, the crew shirt sweater is pretty good too, so wear it at your show. But also got one of these too, Crush This Monster Podcast. Is from the Spread Shop. So get yourself one. These are legit, and takes a little longer, but they're cool. So I can't complain about that. Also, Bryce Kenny and his book, Geared for Life. You can go on www.amazon.com. Gear Life Making Shift Potential. Go ahead. Yep, exactly right there on the bottom, making the shift into your full potential. Go get that book. It's on Amazon, and also I believe an audio thing too. Also, Mega Monsters and Megas with Never Lift Productions, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Motor Speedway, my hometown show. Raminator is not going to be there. It's going to be Ramunition. My guest for this episode was at the show where I debuted that truck in Oklahoma. Go there. It's fun. $25 a ticket. I think kids 2 and under is free. Head scratcher on that one. But anyway, go and help support that if you're around the area too. May 11th also, I'll be in St. Clairsville, Ohio for just a car crush and a display with the Mopar car show. It'll be fun. Once again, bring the big red machine over and have some fun too, and go from there. But we're gonna have a couple more things, and then we're gonna have Alec White, the driver of Bad Decision. He should be proud of me. I got his first name right. But outside of that, we'll get some sponsors and videos. So here we go.
This isn't your typical motorsports podcast. You're listening to Crush This, a monster truck podcast presented by High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. A show where we take you inside the minds of your favorite drivers, past and present, of the monster truck industry. And now, your hosts, Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash. Buckle in. The show starts now.
Man, I want to thank our awesome intro guy, Mr. David Lee. He normally did a lot of the early 90s and late 2000 monster truck shows and stuff like that. But um, it's cool to have a second generation monster truck star here, holding his own. What I, for me, know him as a popular driver for the Matt Motorsports shows, like in Springfield and Miami, Oklahoma, and run a lot of the those guys. But first time I met him in person was at a show for an all-star monster truck show in the great state of Kansas at the Kansas State Fair. They did a show there, stuff like that. So, what's going on, Alec White? How's everything going?
Man, it's going. I'm getting ready to leave for Tennessee in the morning, so see how that goes. And
what show's that?
Dixon, Tennessee. It's one of Dylan's shows, family.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I got a call for that the other day, and happened to be open, so I guess we're gonna do that, and then I come back and do a few other things, car crush and stuff here around home, 45 minutes from my house. So.
Oh, that's good. Hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah, for
crush
sure.
Cars, shake babies, and kiss hands. I mean, shake hands and kiss babies.
Yeah.
But your family's been in the monster truck world for quite some time. Your dad had the brute force for quite some time. Do you remember his history about monster trucks? The for me, knowing him was the brute force truck. That wild crash that happened that back then when the whole rear end got taken out at some arena. I don't remember what arena, but
actually, Jerry owned it then.
Oh, Jerry did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, how did that start for your dad?
It really became more like he was always into some kind of, motor, something like we had dune buggy, he always had dune buggies and stuff, and we always had four-wheelers and stuff. And then one day it just kind of, I guess, blew up to a bigger thing, I guess, if you want to say it that way. But it was, I mean, I've been around it since I was, 5-6 years old in ways, and he did it for, a couple years there, and then just kind of got into me, and well, here I am today.
So, I mean, during the time periods, man, he sold the truck to Jerry,
Mm-hmm.
and he, I got to be at least 5-6 years, a good 4 or 5 years until bad decision was. I knew there was a time gap, but it wasn't that big of a time gap.
No, it was. Man, I want to say it was almost 8.
Okay.
Maybe 7. Really.
So how did that come about? Talked about, because a lot of people, you have a lot lost art form, I guess, in the monster truck industry. Like what my bosses are too, is in Devon Jones. The trucks were built in house. A lot of people go and buy a past truck that was running, or go to the PEI, Eddie, other people, they could get their trucks built. But what do you remember the time where you're like, oh, okay, let's try to get this back rolling and get a monster truck from the ground up?
Yeah. So we started on that truck, and we just started kind of building a little bit at a time. So it was basically, I decided one day that that I wanted to drive all of a sudden, kind of out of nowhere. It was either going to be drag racing or this. So, so one day we decided to, just order tubing and start building the truck. And it took quite some time, and there was a lot of arguing with that. But No, it turned out to be a pretty good piece, I feel like, actually, as a matter of fact, that's where the name came from about halfway through the build. It was a bad decision.
Yeah. That's appropriate name for a lot of trucks and a bad decision. But the cool thing about you having that truck or having an in-house truck in general, like I noticed that with Mark with building the new truck, is he takes a look, see other people's vehicles, and if they add something new, oh cool, that's something I could do. And then he goes to the chassis, cuts the part off and puts a new part in just to make the truck look different. So when you had time between the beginning process of the truck to the finished product, did you take a look at other people's, you don't have to mention names, but other people's products and go, okay, I'll add that to the truck because I like that idea?
Absolutely. I mean, it's really got a combination of a lot of trucks in that truck. Uh, there's still some things I wish were different in it, of course, now. Uh, but there was some, stuff already put in, cut out, put something else something else that looked better or stronger or whatever it may be, and there was definitely a lot of doing that.
What was the blueprint idea for that truck? Was there a truck that was out there that you wanted to come up with, or or did you want to do like an original idea from the ground up?
I mean, so it's kind of ish an older Patrick chassis, but with a little bit of curve to it, I guess. You know, um, the top's quite a bit different and everything else, but uh, just a lot of different trucks, a lot of ideas here and there. The way shocks are mounted is different. The amount of shocks got them mounted over the kingpins on that truck, but man, just ideas from all different kinds of trucks, really.
So, and also I always ask people about the trucker too. Uh, what's the story behind the look for it? You said bad decision, but anything could be. You have a name for a truck that kind of look like it, make it look like Bad Company. I mean, I mean, like Bad Company is a named truck where any kind of cool design or something like that could go with that. But your name is kind of like that too. So what got you hooked on the green and a little bit of I'm trying to picture the lettering. The lettering is kind of a little bit like our lettering, kind of like that fuchsia type
Yeah.
color. So what was the story behind the identity of Bad Decision?
So really, the color came from uh, we was somewhere one day, I don't even remember where, and it was the first year. I think it was in 2018 or 2019. Camaros came out with that color, and it's Spitfire green, and I just love that color from the start. I mean, I always wanted the truck either green or purple, dark purple. So, I mean, I just seen that color and fell in love with it, and then the graphics is just kind of what our graphic guy came up with, and we just agreed on a whole deal, which some of it's actually probably going to be changed a little bit before too long. So, but yeah, I mean, there's really no real big backstory to it other than I loved that color green.
Well, that's always I always thought that, like hearing the stories of what pursue green. You could pick any color in the world or any
Mhm.
type of wrap or anything like that, but it's cool to hear the backstory about why you did that, and that's pretty cool that you like that color car. Do you own that car?
No, I wish.
No. um, but so you before we continue on, I gotta thank some people. So Justin Stories on a book called Making Tracks. Go to Amazon.com or message Justin Stories on Facebook. $10 a person, $10 a pop. Cool book, as in a comic book type deal. So go catch that. Pretty cool. MW1 Entertainment, Mark Warner. He does announcing throughout the United States. Go take a look at that. He's getting ready for his summer schedule here. So go to MW1 Entertainment on Facebook. So let's talk about this also, because for me, knowing about the Bad Decision truck is that I know, first quarter this and that, but when it comes to spring and summer, I know you guys come out the bat, especially the big name independent summer shows that Matt Motorsports and the Darnells do all summer long. And some of the highlight videos that the Monster blog comes out with has your truck in it in Miami. So how did you get out? So is the relationship between your team and the map probably what clear back to when your dad was driving Brute Force, but how did you guys rekindle that relationship for becoming a regular on Map Motorsport shows?
So they started my dad, and his very first show was a Map Motorsports show, and they always, just everything worked well there. And so when I started, that was also, a Map Motorsports show was also my very first show in Miami, Oklahoma in 2019, I believe. And so, yeah, I mean, I live 20 minutes away from Miami, Oklahoma, so it's as close to hometown as I'm going to get for a show, really. And man, we look forward to going to Miami every year, going back this year. And then we'll do, Springfield occasionally, or I've been down and done the Texas shows too. My second year, I believe. And I wouldn't mind doing that again either. It just works well. And Johnny's been great to me always. So,
for that, doing the map shows, it gets you becoming an experienced driver pretty fast, because the lineups that you deal with are not just no slouch. They're Monster Jam, toughest monster truck tour caliber trucks. Obviously the hometown guy, Devin Jones. You have the Gardners, Jerry Beck, and occasionally, and then you have Tim Jones that pulls stuff out of his rear end. Before you know it, he's doing some type of cartwheel silhouette, and he doesn't know where he's going. You have all those guys. So that for you, getting behind the wheel of your truck in 2019, people take, like for me, I've been behind the wheel since 2022, but I started doing some car crashes and stuff like that. Then, at Enith of 2023, I started driving the truck. But for you doing those shows, I mean, you had to get comfortable with that truck and, be mature, I guess, with the truck pretty dang fast.
yeah, absolutely. So my first year, like I said, that was my first show in Miami of 2019. That truck had never been jumped before that show, even. Never been jumped. All I ever did was drove it around the yard. So I took a beating that weekend. I'll tell you that. But no, yeah, I had to learn pretty quick going into that, and also doing a few toughest shows, Lamar. I've been there a few times. We'll be back there again this year. Uh, to I just had to mature quick, really, and I truly feel like smaller tracks is what makes you learn how to drive, actually. I mean, a lot of people can just go out there and do whatever on a big track, but small tracks, working inside of an arena, and that gets me right there. That's where I really started noticing I was getting better. I mean, I still wish I was still better than what I am, but I noticed I started getting a lot better when I started doing smaller arenas, and then I would go to the next year and be a little better, a little better, a little better, and I'm still working on doing that. I want to be a little better every year, but
that like in the summer you reach to that, but you start doing a lot of, like you said, in the wintertime, a lot of like Waco and other small arena shows that they do. But you start branching out to, I mean, All Star, and you'll be doing a few shows with Dylan Finley, the King Crunch owner, and Nitro Hornet, stuff like that. And Like I remember we were talking before the show, and you're looking at some of the obstacles in Enith. I remember you're like, well, I might as well get the stupid out of me first so I can get ready for the rest of the year. Um, because you tried every single move. The truck just didn't feel like you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And but you got that out of the way though. But you put a name for yourself, and there's a reason why they put you kind of like third to last or last or in freestyle and stuff like that. So you have that respect way of going on with the monster truck industry and stuff like that. For you though, your I guess would you think your schedule is lighter than a lot of the teams that you run with? I guess, right? Or kind of
definitely in the winter.
In the winter, yeah. In the summertime, in the springtime, you probably get the ball rolling and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
May I ask, so outside of monster trucks, are you like a welder, a mechanic?
So I was before I started doing this, and actually, what's been going on the last couple of years is I've been trying to go full time with it, and I was a diesel mechanic before this.
Mm.
And so for a while I was doing both, and I was just, between heavy lifting and then doing monster truck shows on weekends. And then one day I crawled under a truck, man, and I was covered in grease and everything. And I'm like, screw this. I got a monster truck in the garage. I'm going to go try it. That's really what happened there.
Gotcha. And then, the one thing I always like to know too is, your tire choice. You have a set of some good heavy duty Firestones. A lot of people like to run the lighter tires and stuff like that. Did you ever want to try those lighter tires, or you kind of like those Firestones for the truck?
I mean, it would depend on the certain show. I would love to try lighter tires. But the Firestones are very durable. I mean, I don't ever have any problem with them. They don't, get whole. They're not soft. They're a hard tire, so they don't puncture very easy. That you can do about anything with them. But I would love to eventually try a softer tire. So we'll see. Hopefully soon.
Gotcha. And then, so what's your season like for this year? Is it gonna be are you doing some map shows and other promoters too?
Yep. Actually, I think right now Miami's the only one I have for map at the moment. I've got Lamar for tough. I'd have to look at my schedule. I don't remember what all I've got, but
Gotcha.
I'm trying to work on another truck right now, so that's also part of the deal. Just kind of no due date when it's going to be done, but I guess just whenever it gets done, whenever I can accumulate all the stuff I need and
go from there.
Yep, pretty much.
One thing I didn't know, but I learned from hearing from people through you, is I didn't know. I even ran with him in 2018 working for Jerry Beck, the toughest monster truck tour. You did a few shows just chilling in the back, getting ready for the call to go on and fill in. A lot of people may not know that. I mean, yeah, you still were doing stuff in the wintertime. It's just, and sometimes you played a backup role to a tour that I have to say a tour that trucks touring around the country, being those trucks over and over again. But sometimes those trucks occasionally mess up. Something happens, a gremlin to out of their control, and then you have to step in to fill in that void for them. So I didn't know that, Toughest had that going on with them too. And, you had a few shows like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I did Beaumont, Texas, like that, and Lafayette, Louisiana. And unfortunately, I never got to run either show, but that was still fun, from being, different, sitting back and actually watching the show and think, man, these guys go hard here, because they get it there. But it was a blast sitting back and just watching the show, I mean, instead of being in it, just something different from a change from what I've been used to for so long now. And man, I loved it. It was a good time.
And it's kind of neat that they consider you too. They could have picked anyone else to fill in that spot, and you have been still chilling at home with or doing another show or something like that. But the truck will be in the garage and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool and stuff like that. But before we continue on here, I got to thank two more people. Hall Brothers Racing. They supply our decals, and also take a look at their stuff at www.raminator.com. We're about to start here soon with our dealership season after May. We're going to do a few California car crushes, one Ohio, doing some dealership displays in Maryland, and we'll go from there too. But go take a look at that. Hall Brothers Racing, home of Raminator, Ramunition, and Hotsy Monster Trucks. Also want to thank JB Skill Graphics, officially licensed by Bigfoot, Overkill Evolution, Obsessed. Once Bad Habit, but I think he sold his stuff, so that's all gone there. But and also he does one-to-one wraps and also helmets. They do flags, so go to jbscale.com for your awesome RC and anything wrap needs. So you're excited about this year. Your first show of the year was Zenith, the same thing as mine, a small arena. Actually, let me go back here. You had shows, but you're just playing the backup role. Zenith was your first show running the truck and stuff like that. With the gap, so the end of your 2023 year, from that last show to there, it's quite some type of kind of a gap. So do you feel that there's a little bit of rust, or is it kind of also like a little bit of a riding a bicycle and just keep on going?
No, man, I changed some stuff on the truck too, and between that time, I was pretty rusty. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I could definitely tell. I got it back a couple weeks ago though, finally. So I mean, I'm back at it, but I think the last show I did before that was October last year, late October. So, I mean, to me, it's not just like riding a bike. You're not just going to get right back in it and be the same as you were, on a 6-month break or whatever it is. But, yeah, I was pretty rusty in Enid. But we're getting back. We're getting back.
Actually, didn't you did a couple map shows this year, right? Waco was one of them, or
no, I did not. I didn't do any. I haven't done any map shows yet this year.
Okay, the man, I'm screwing up on my information here. I thought you did, or maybe that was last year. Was it last year?
I haven't done a map show not in Waco, and it's been 2020 or 21, one of the two.
Okay, I could have got confused with Dylan. Sorry, Dylan. I thought your truck was there, but my fault. I'm sorry about that. That's lack of information that I get confused a little bit about. So, you are also a huge football fan too, and I think that's pretty cool. You're a Cowboys fan. Dealing with the I always call the recycling sign. You're drafting. You get ready, and then within the middle of the season, you guys think it's your time of the year. Then we get to playoffs, and it comes full circle again. You said earlier before we got on this recording that your family's been a huge Cowboys fan. You live in Kansas. That's Kansas City, Denver type territory a little bit. But living, Oklahoma City is a huge Cowboy area too. So I mean, they have their fans around the area. So, you know, being a football fan in general, I mean, I think you probably like the Luke Combs song. Football games can tear your heart apart or sew it back together. So,
Yeah.
Let's talk about the love of football for you.
Oh man, I just, I mean, we try to go to. I've been to a lot of Kansas City games too. Not gonna lie, it's fun. It's a good time. I just like going to football games, but we try to go to a Dallas game once a year. I've just, I mean, about 30 years with no Super Bowls kind of sucking, but I just some kind of love for it. I've always had, really. I mean, if I could, I'd sit here every Sunday and watch football, all day. If I could do that. But I mean, there's been times I've been driving down the road watching it on my phone on the way home from a show or whatever. But and I've just always had the love for it. I've had a love for the game, and it's pretty cool to me.
Yeah, same here. I'm more of a college football fan than I am sometimes NFL. So if I'm at home just chilling, there's nothing going on, my television's set for college football on a Saturday. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
what games are playing. I'm a graduate from West Virginia University. So I mean, seeing the Mountaineers play is awesome, but if they're not playing or they're on a channel that I can't get, well, it doesn't bother me if there's, the Illinois taking on Northwestern or Purdue's taking on, Ohio State or Iowa State, something like it's always going to be consistently. That's the same thing with the NFL too. Occasionally I'll try to buy the NFL package on YouTube so I can watch the Steelers play, and that's pretty much it. But outside of that, I mean, if the Steelers played on Monday night or a Sunday night or Sunday, at 1 p.m., I'll switch it to Fox because I know 75% of the time it's gonna be a Cowboys game. It seems like 4 p.m. on Fox is Cowboys against someone, or Cowboys against someone in the NBC Sunday Night Football. Rarely you see them play on Monday night. It's either prime time Sunday or 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon, and then just change the channel to, the Sunday football, which I am honored for the industry that we're at. We get to go places that and get access to that a lot of people may not get to do. For instance, I mean, for you, I mean, you went to the Lafayette, Louisiana arena. Well, the Raging Cajuns, I think, play basketball there. And the football is pretty close. So you get the chance to do that, for me, with Hall Brothers, we get to go places, not just football in general, basketball, NBA arenas, NHL arenas, maybe sometimes baseball stadiums. But when you have a chance to bring your truck to a place that, you have heard of, or you get a chance to go to that, you wouldn't have the access to just being a regular fan, it has to be a little bit gratifying.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I mean that, and man, just going lots of different places, like I've never been to before, and traveling and just seeing all kinds of different things, I mean, I've been a lot of places before, but most of the time I was flying or whatever, and it that takes a lot of it out. But sometimes the driving gets a little rough after a while,
You ever thinking about, people will probably get criticized for this, but getting your truck all ready for the new Monster Jam just to have that chance to drive your truck in Arlington?
I would love to, honestly. One day, I would love to do that. And
Yeah,
maybe the only reason I'd love to do it, but I'd love to drive in Arlington one time.
the Arlington and you're kind of in in the football heaven pretty much. In Kansas. Are you follow college football too? Do you follow Kansas or Kansas State?
No, no, not. I've never really been a big college football fan, honestly. I've always been an NFL fan, and there's no real reason why. It's just kind of how it's always been, you know.
Mm,
That's what I grew up around, so that's just kind of how you know what I mean.
yeah. I'm just like I said, I'm a football fan. Whatever type of football. I'll watch arena football if I have the chance to go see it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's football in general, And how do you feel? Yeah, we'll go a little bit topic here. How do you feel about the UFL? That's now spring ball, and they're going to try to mix it in kind of like minor league baseball is. It's kind of like minor league football, trying out and stuff like that. The big headquarters for the UFL is Arlington. I like it because it feels like it's going to be football all year round. After they're kind of doing their thing, I mean, we get, NFL draft and, stuff like that. So how do you feel about this UFL?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to, see it, but I think it would be great, as in possibly maybe undrafted players showing what they can do, and maybe coming in and end up coming into the NFL. I think it would be a really cool thing. I don't know if it's going to work like that, but if it did, that would be cool. And then, maybe somebody that couldn't quite make the NFL go there and see what they can do, or maybe even get a second chance. Uh, it'll be fun to watch for sure.
They go to places like Birmingham and St. Louis. And I kind of feel like they should each. I think what they should do is have the NFL join in and make those football teams like minor league teams,
Mm-hmm.
so they can branch out and not cut. So you have your 52 team roster, but instead of cutting all those players, get those players and move into their facility and train. If they can't, let's say the Cowboys have their team, and then Arlington, you have your 52 team roster, 53 team roster, and then you're like 54. Well, you're up in that national line. We'll go to the team in Arlington, play your butt off, and then instead of being a practice squad, still play as a practice squad. If you're a practice squad guy, still play, and then play in the fall. I mean, the only downfall being a practice squad is the chance of injuring yourself during the UFL spring games, and then the fall games being the part of the practice squad. But still, not eliminating the guys that are doing so. But then again, if you're in Arlington, you're not holding up your own, then I could see you getting cut or go somewhere else. But I think that'd be good to have minor league football teams play in the springtime for people, like you said, that are undrafted, free agents that didn't get picked up that still want to play football, practice squads, guys that didn't make it to the cut but still want to prove themselves. I could see that, and I think that'd be kind of exciting to do. But I mean, it's kind of cool that you're gonna have football all year round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It would be. That would be a good idea too. I mean, I'm pretty excited to see where it goes. I don't know if that'll ever happen. That would be cool, but I guess we'll just have to see. I don't know.
And then also, I mean, being that minor league program too, if you want to have coaches come up, you can organically have them get ready, and having offensive coordinators be head coaches, trying to take, instead of, you see a lot of the head coaches, there are a lot of offensive, defensive coordinators that do pretty well, but as soon as they take the head coaching gig for another team, they a lot of times fall on their face and then they're back to that same team again being offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. You see that a lot in New England.
Yeah, for sure.
And stuff like that. But, maybe instead of, taking the, offensive coordinator, taking the full-time job because the money, I gotta lie, money's pretty good being a coach in the NFL. So, but if you want to feel better about yourself, why don't you just coach the smaller schools or a smaller program? And then, if you're ready to go do it, then go ahead and do it. Or take the position of the head coach currently. Something to do in that nature. But how do you feel about the Cowboys this year on the draft? What do you see they need to get ready to go and pick up? Because, they have one of the most fantastic offensive lines. They have a good defense, but the problem with their defense was their secondary last year. Losing Diggs and stuff like that was a big key factor on their defense. Really, the Cowboys' defense was relying on their first four, and then their linebacker core. Your linebacking core is stout, but the secondary was the weak point. And then once again, Deck's inconsistency as a quarterback was questionable towards the end of the season, but during the season itself, he was one of the elite quarterbacks, MVP talks, stuff like that. But their wide receiving core that you have is phenomenal. Unselfish wide receiving group. You had probably one of the fastest punt returner and kickoff returners in the NFL. Yeah. But like we all talk about, injuries aside, what does it take to push the team, or what do you see the team need to get pushed to go over that hilltop to get back to the 90s glory days?
I feel like most of it, honestly, is more consistency and discipline. Too many mistakes all the time, man. It's every time, every year, a repeat, same stuff, same crap. But we'll see. Hopefully they'll get that figured out. I wouldn't mind having a new quarterback. I've seen enough, but
you worried about the defense losing Dan Campbell?
Dan Quinn, no.
Dan Quinn.
No, I think as good of a coordinator as he is, and how he can throw you a blitz from anywhere or whatever it may be, I think that was also a problem, was discipline. You've seen a lot of PI calls that shouldn't have been a thing, or defensive holding or jumping off side, just undisciplined things that could happen that they're not holding players accountable for, I feel like, the way they should.
The thing is, they always talk about how the Cowboys have a really good November, and December is the questionable one. I kind of agree. They need discipline. Penalties hurt you. Smart play calling. The thing is the Cowboys too is when they go downhill or they get in trouble, it happens fast. Yes, I haven't seen one game got in trouble where they can bounce back and win a game. When Deck starts throwing 3 interceptions, it's going to be 6 or 7 at the end of the game. And then the ball rolls. Zeke Elliott fumbled it. Well, he's gone now. Well, there was people talks of him coming back to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't think we need that.
No.
We need. He's past his prime. He did us good for a few years.
He needed to get more mature. I don't think he's disciplined enough.
No, it comes with the rest of the team.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. The NFL draft is going to happen in the next few weeks. And then before you know it, camp. And before you know it, preseason Akron Cannon. And we'll start this ball rolling again while the Kansas City Chiefs have to defend their back-to-back Super Bowl championship. I listened to this podcast called New Heights. I don't know if you're fond or you hate Kansas City. His brother, Travis Kelce's brother, played for Philadelphia. Obviously, you're not a Philadelphia fan.
That's one I hate more than Kansas City.
Either hate Philadelphia, Washington, or New York. That's a territory of being divisional rivals. But Philadelphia always seems like a big, territorial type deal. But anyway, I listen to their podcast all the time, and they're very, very open, very neutral, which is cool. But I didn't know if you listen to their stuff on the road.
I've listened to a little bit of it, maybe a couple, but I haven't. I think I listened to the one where they interviewed Andy Reid, and maybe a few other ones. I don't really remember exactly who, maybe Julian Edelman or something, but no, it's pretty good. I mean, kind of impressive, and they're more open about their personal life, I guess, and kind of the stuff they do and how they feel about things and this and that, which
another
cool.
If you have a chance on the road, if you listen to it, I think it's Julian Edelman's highlight games, or it's a podcast, and he did one with Terry Bradshaw. They talked about the Immaculate Reception in 1972 against the Oakland Raiders, and it kind of started the whole Pittsburgh Steelers franchise in the 70s. One of the most hilarious podcasts you're ever going to listen to is between Terry Bradshaw and Julian Edelman. And it's just funny. I'll send you a link to it so you can listen to it on the road. It's freaking hilarious. Long one, it's a 2-hour one, but for us monster trucking and hauling stuff,
it's
not very long. But man, any social media people can follow you at?
Yep, Bad Decision Monster Truck on Facebook and Bad Decision Monster Truck on Instagram. I need to do more posts, and I'm not too good at that, but I need to get better at that. I haven't posted anything on there in probably, I don't know, a year maybe, but I'm going to work on that.
We forgive you. But for you, so this week, or you'll be going to Tennessee. So that's going to be pretty cool to see. And then you have some local gigs and stuff like that too in the future. Like you said earlier on the chat, well, prior to it, you have a couple of gigs, one gig about 45 minutes away from you. Not that bad. So, well, thank you for being on, Alec. It was enjoyable being a competitor with you over there in Enid.
Yeah,
always fun driving. But once again, also for me, go to Crush This on Facebook, on Instagram. We're on TikTok too. Dan Chichagosh on Facebook and Instagram. Take a look. We'll get ready. The ball rolling in May. We have Dylan Finley on in May. Randy Smallwood. A couple others in May. We're going kind of big, but this one's trying to let all you guys have a little bit of a Flavor Flav type deal. And once again, check up on your friends and family. Also donate some blood, and also just be there for anyone that's in need. So I'm Dan Chichagosh. Let's crush this. Keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up. Peace.